What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the SBL Season 3. We are on Week 8. My goodness, getting close to the end of the season. And we got a big one this week. We are taking on our boy Aleo, who's one of our new coaches, and his team is the Vehement Vagabonds. That sounds right. Like I mentioned last week, he, like Iron, is from outside the US, but he is from the Philippines, and that's kind of why this battle's a little bit late, because we had a couple of scheduling conflicts, seeing as he's almost 12 hours ahead of me. Actually, I think he might be more than 12 hours ahead of me. Who cares about the details? Aleo has had himself a really good season so far, especially considering this is his first season in Draft League format. He's a solid 6-1 like ourselves, so at the time of this battle, this was a battle of first place versus second place. Me being in first with a plus 25 differential, him being in second with a plus 18 differential, I think that sounds right. So yeah, this was a huge one. Basically, whoever won this battle was, well, I wouldn't say guaranteed first place, but had a much stronger case for finishing the regular season in first place. And this was a pretty long battle, so let me just get into what he has right away. Alright, he has a Tyranitar there, which is his Mega, which is Omega's boy, as we all know. Alright, Mega Tyranitar has a bunch of different funky sets it can run, like it can be a Stealth Rock supporting set, it could be a Dragon Dance set, Rock Polish, what have you. Speaking of rocks, he's got a Regirock there, which could also be a Stealth Rock setter. It could run stuff like Rock Polish and all that kind of stuff. And Regirock is really physically bulky, and that's something I'm going to have to keep in mind for this game. And to complete the Sand Core, he's also got the Excadrill there, which is, in the sand, a ginormous threat, which is kind of alleviated by the fact that I have an Intimidate Landorus, but don't sleep on Excadrill. And what's even more of a threat on his team there is that Victini, which we had way back in SBL Season 1. My team does not like switching into V-Create. Like, I had to tailor so many of my mons to be able to switch into this monster. And will it be enough? We'll see. He's got Vaporeon there, which we had last season as well. We all know what this thing does. It's Wish Passer, it could Toxic, Scald, Ice Beam. It could be offensive if you wanted it to be, but like, against my team, walling was probably something he needed to do. And then the last thing on his team that he did bring is the Spiritomb. Spiritomb. This thing has a whopping one weakness, being Fairy, and I didn't bring my Fairy type. Well, it's also weak to Fighting if you count Scrappy from like Mega Lopunny or something like that. Yeah, Spiritomb's job is pretty much just to be annoying, as he has run like very, very defensive sets that are stopped by Taunt this season. Alright, but yeah, that's what Aleo did bring. Let me see if I can remember what he didn't bring. Okay, the first two things he didn't bring, he has not brought all season, and they're very good mons. Rotom Wash and Shaman. Those are two very good Pokemon in Draft League format, and I'm not entirely sure why he hasn't brought them yet. But I won't question it, we'll just see if we can remember what else he hasn't brought to this game, and their screensaver. Also to this game, he did not bring the Mienshao, which, I mean, I had my responses to. I mean, I could have swapped in my gelatin to it every single time. If I'd have brought my gelatin, that is, but I didn't, so what you gonna do? He also did not bring the Miltank, which is, he's brought to quite a few games, and I think that's been his primary Stealth Rocker. Which, if he would have brought that, I'd have had to be careful of rocks, because I do not believe I brought Deep Fog on this team at all. And the last thing he didn't bring, which is one of his Mimir picks, is the Vileplume, which has honestly gotten a huge buff this generation because of Strength Zap. That has made that thing a threat, and that Vileplume has actually not died at all this season. But given my team, I can see why he didn't bring it. Alright. Like I said, this battle is really long, so let me go ahead and quickly go over what I have. I got Mega Gallade here with a actually more defensive spread. I have stuff like Will-O-Wisp and Pain Split on this set. Yeah. Alright. You can barely see it there with Metagross blocking it, but Tangela is here, making its season debut. Kind of a physically defensive set, meant to switch into stuff like Excadrill, Regirock, Tyranitar. Maybe Vaporeon if it's not backing Ice Beam. Alright. Metagross here was an Akaberry set, which is a Fire Resist Berry. In an emergency, it was meant to be my check into a Choice Banded Victini, because I was packing Earthquake on it. I was EV'd to be able to take a V-Create with the Akaberry, and then kill it back with an Earthquake. But does that come into play? We'll see. Alright, we got a defensive Hydreigon here. Something about me running physically defensive Hydreigon in Week A of the SBL. But this one has stuff like Taunt and U-Turn and a couple different moves that I ran back in SBL Season 1 against Arceus. Alright, we got Lando here, who's a Rocky Helmet set yet again, because, again, I needed something to be able to switch into that Victini. Especially if he was banded, that could have been a huge problem. Alright, and then lastly we got P2 here, who's kind of mixed defensive with Trace. Look at this thing switch into that Vaporeon most of the time, because I can trade these Water Absorb, and then it can't Scald me, then it can't Burn me. All sorts of funzos. Okay. Yeah, this is an intense matchup. It's first place versus second place. And I've got my cat outside my door right here, and she's looking at me like, hey, I want something, but I can't right now because I just started recording. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the battle. I led off with my P2 here as he led off with his Tyranitar. Let me put this on slow real quick as he sets up the Sandstorm. And I actually kind of make a misplay here turn 1. He switches out immediately as I reveal that I have the Magic Coat, expecting him to want to set up Stealth Rock or something like that. And we both take the Sandstorm damage. And to be honest, I should have gone for Magic Coat again here instead of Discharge, because the move he goes for is Toxic. So great, now my P2's on a timer, that's no fun. Okay, he's just getting some leftovers back, and then he switches out into the Excadrill, predicting my Discharge, which he gets correct. And I think I just go straight in the... I think I go straight into Tangela here first. That sounds like something I would do. Because this was meant to take the ground attacks that Excadrill has, but he goes for the Swords Dance, and then the next move he reveals is not fun for me. The next move he reveals is X-Scissor. This boy prepped for my Tangela as I went for the Giga Drain. And yeah, obviously I wasn't going to take another X-Scissor even after the thingy, so I go to Lando to Intimidate him as the obvious move, revealing my Rocky Helmet as well, and he gets a crit with that X-Scissor, which, thank God he got that on Lando and not Tangela, because if Tangela would have gone down that early, that would have been a problem, because Tangela could do a lot in this game. Like, it could switch into a lot of different things, and I'm really glad he didn't get the crit on Tangela. But that crit, that's just the first of many different RNG things that happen in this game, but we'll go ahead and get on to more as he just goes to Vaporeon. What do I click here? Earthquake? Okay, yeah. It was my safest play, so I just went for it, and now I'm going to U-turn on out into my P2. I do go into my P2, right? Yes. To trace his Water Absorb like I alluded to earlier, and he Scalds me, which heals me. Heals me up here like, oh, well, thank you. And what do I do here? Let's see. He protects to scout out what I'm going to do, and I reveal that I have Icy Wind here. Which, I had Icy Wind on the set just to try to slow some stuff down, like looking at this Excadrill, potentially. Because it was immune to the other move. And my Discharge here actually doesn't do a whole lot in the grand scheme of things, and now is where you see why this battle was so long. It's a constant cycle of wishing and protecting with this Vaporeon. Oh yeah, and of course I had recovery on a couple things too. Recover on this thing and Roost on Hydreigon. But this Vaporeon ends up being the most annoying thing. Let's see, do I Discharge here? No, I go into Hydreigon, which, given that he's already shown X-Scissor, what do? I think I U-turn here? No, I just go straight into Lando. But yeah, right here, this was actually a really good double on his part. Because the obvious switch into Excadrill that I already showed was my Lando, so all I had to do was go into his Vaporeon and like, oh hey, we're back at square one. So I think I just U-turn out again here, and do I go into P2? What do I want to say? I don't. No, I go into Hydreigon, because I wanted to taunt this thing. And I actually predict him to protect this turn, which I think no he doesn't, as I went for Dark Pulse here. It could have flinched him as he reveals the Ice Beam. Which means my Tangela is not a safe switch into this thing, so then I was like, great. So I taunt him up, and then he just keeps spamming me with Ice Beam, and then it's a little bit of a cycle here of me trying to get my Hydreigon back up to a reasonable amount of HP with Roost. But he just keeps spamming Ice Beam. I think this goes on for a couple turns, I'll just kind of let it play out. There's just Ice Beaming away, there's not really much I can do about it at this point. And I just keep Roost... No, eventually I U-turn. I think I go into... Eventually I go back into P2. And his Ice Beam, what does it do? It does not a whole lot, but my P2 is getting whittled down a lot by the Toxic. And then his taunt wears off, so that gives him a free wish as I recover here. Yeah. I'll be the first to admit that this probably wasn't my best game. Because now he just goes into his Spiritomb, and after seeing the discharge damage, he's free to go for the move he goes for next here. And this ends up being kind of a problem for me. The move he ends up going for is, as I magic code again, it's Substitute. And my discharge, unfortunately, cannot break his sub in one hit, so he's free to do whatever he wants. Which I think is he tries to Toxic again, but predicting a switch. No one's planning on switching anything, so I think I just go for... No, he actually switches into his Tyranitar, which was actually kind of a weird play on his part, because when you have a Substitute up, you keep that Substitute up until your opponent breaks your sub. But given the nature of his moveset, I don't think he really had anything to deal with my P2 here outside of Toxic. So he switched out. I went for Discharge on his Tyranitar as a switch in, and he gets the Paralyze. But my P2 is going to go down to the combination of Sandstorm and Toxic. But this paralysis on the Tyranitar is actually huge for later in the battle. I'm just going to say that right now. And this gives me a free switch into my Gallade. And predicting him to switch here, because who's going to stay in with a Tyranitar on a Mega Gallade, I go for the Will-O-Wisp here, which mitigates this thing's leftovers, and reveals that I have it, first of all. And yeah. We're just kind of in this cycle here, as I go into Metagross this time, predicting him to Toxic, which is exactly what he does. And I don't have Pursuit on this Metagross this week, so I can't do damage to him on the way out, as I believe I just get up my rocks here as this Vaporeon just comes in. And figuring out that my Tangle is not a safe switch into this monster, I think I don't want to say I stay in and just click Zen Headbutt. Yes, I do click Zen Headbutt, and I miss. And he Scald Burns me. What a wonderful turn for me. It's not the first time I've missed a Scald Burn this season, but, I mean, not the... excuse me. It's not the first time I've missed the Zen Headbutt this season. But then that, in combination with the Scald Burn, just made this turn was just awful. And I think the Sandstorm goes away this turn, which is like, okay, cool. But I think I go for... No, I switched into Tangela this time, as he just wishes up. And he switches out into Victini, which is not good for me. I think I just Leech Seed here. Yeah. And now's the fun part. Trying to switch into Victini. Oh yeah, and I haven't pointed out his nicknames. All of his Pokemon are nicknamed Love You Uncle. Yeah, he kept calling me Uncle the entire time we were trying to arrange a battle. I mean, because I used to go by Uncle Burn in Discord and Skype back when that was a thing. Oh, well, Skype. And he actually wasn't really around at the time when I went by Uncle. I guess somebody told him about that. Oh well. Excuse me. So I go into my first switch into this thing, which is the Lando, and he reveals the trick, revealing he was originally Choice Scarf, but keep in mind that he has my Rocky Helmet from Lando for later. And I make another stupid play here. The play I end up going for, knowing I'm Choice Scarf, after all this, ends up being Knockoff. Like, why would I not just go for Earthquake? It hit everything on his team. So obviously I was forced out, and what do I go into here? I go into Gallade, expecting him to do something. Does he get Parahax here? Yes, he does. I don't think this Tyranitar actually makes a move this entire battle, so... Dude, he goes into Vaporeon here. I think I just Drain Punch just to attack what's in front of me. And it does a decent chunk to the Vaporeon, but it's not a whole lot. So I'm forced into doing some switch shenanigans, and I don't remember if I go into Tangela or Metagross here. I had this battle earlier today when I was recording, and I don't remember. But he goes into this thing. And I don't remember if he protects here. Protect seems like the thing he would do here. Yeah, as you see, we're on turn 35, and it's still 6-5, so... And this is the main reason why he kept Wish Protecting with this stupid Vaporeon. Like, I just wanted to kill this thing. And now he goes into Spiritomb, as I believe I still spam Leech Seed. And then this thing's goal in life is just to annoy me to death. So yeah. So I go into Metagross here because, well, it was kind of a sack at this point because with the bird on Metagross, he was pretty useless here. The goal was just to kind of whittle down the Spiritomb as much as I could, but then he reveals that he has the Pain Split, which puts him up a little bit more, but he's still getting whittled down by the Burn and the Leech Seed. So it's, I don't know, kind of a losing battle for him. But he switches out again into his Vaporeon, like, Aleo, why do you keep switching out when you have a sub up? When you have a sub, you're pretty much free to get damage off. Like, but that time was more reasonable because he didn't have the Leech Seed on him, so he wanted to get rid of the Leech Seed, which I got some complaints about that, but in the future, if you have a sub up, that's the rule to anybody. If you have a sub up, you don't have to switch out. You can just click the button, the attacking button, and you'll get some damage off on whatever's in front of you. But yeah, this Vaporeon's back in as it does a huge amount of damage, 4% with the Bullet Punch. Like, he healed back more than that. And I believe I just spam Zen Headbutt until I die, but I get the flinch in the first one, and flinching this thing to death would have been lovely. But spoilers, that doesn't happen. I go for another Zen Head, but I don't miss him here. And I believe he just kills me off with Scald. And that, no, he does not kill me off with Scald, but the Burn is what finishes me off. Gets a little more HP back. And then I'm free to go into my Tangela, and then click the buttons on him again. As I think I just go for Leech Seed as he protects. Or do I go for Giga Drain straight off? No, I just keep going for Leech Seed because he doesn't have his Vileplume or his Shaman, so I can just keep clicking the buttons. And he tries to double protect, but then I Leech Seed again. Like, I didn't want to pull the trigger on Giga Drain just yet because he still has Victini alive that he can switch in. He goes into the Spiritomb as I believe I Giga Drain this time. And he's a very specially defensive Spiritomb, so that doesn't kill, and with the leftovers, the Burn doesn't kill either. But I am faster than this thing, so I click Knockoff, and Tangela gets a kill in its first game of the season, and at this point, I was thinking, yay, it's not a 6-0. But now the threat comes in, and I have to switch to my now Scarflando to take on a V-Create, and that's exactly what he clicked, but obviously he's not going to stay in. So I think now I click the proper button of Earthquake. And I think he protects here on the next turn to try to get a little more leftovers back and to make the rolls on Earthquake a little more in his favor. But I kept going for Earthquake, hoping that I could get the rolls. And I think he goes for the Witch next turn, and my Earthquake, it leaves him with 1% hit point. It was a roll to kill this thing, and I got just the roll I didn't want. Because this Vaporeon was such a nuisance to me, all I wanted to happen to it was for it to die. And I couldn't even get that, as he just wishes up, and I think eventually I switch to my Tangela, which is the next turn. And it's still a free Leech Seed for me, but now he's back at fuller HP with this stupid thing. And do I click Leech Seed on this next turn? I believe I do. No, he gets the Ice Beam, and he freezes me. I was so salty during the battle at this point, like, it felt like so much RNG was going against me. And then this happens. So now my Tangle is pretty much useless, because, spoilers, I don't unfreeze at any point. So I'm just sitting here with a frozen Tangela, and really nothing I can switch into this Vaporeon. And now this is looking really bad for me. Like, I'm thinking, like, to be honest, I almost clicked X at this point in this battle, because, like, I thought I was going to lose. Like, at this point, RNG is mean. So, obviously, I have to switch out, and I think I go... What do I go into? Why do I think I go into Gallade? No, I go into Hydreigon as a sack. But he goes for Scald, and he gets the Scald Burn. That's not that big a deal. I think I just taunt it. Or does he protect first? I do taunt it eventually. He does protect first, because that's what he's been doing this entire game. And then the taunt fails, and there's no point in me roosting at this point. It would not accomplish anything. But now I taunt it. And yeah, he just finishes off my Hydreigon, which is actually my Hydreigon's first death of the season. And at this point, my only option is going into my Gallade and praying to everything that I don't get burned. And since I didn't get to knock off its leftovers at any point in the battle, I figured I'd Wisp it just to mitigate its leftovers, and I actually just now noticed that that Scald was a crit. I didn't notice it in the game. Like, my goodness, there was so much RNG in this game. And at this point, my hope and dream is to pray that I don't get Scald burned as I show off Paint Split there. As he keeps scalding me, doesn't burn me. Like, sitting okay here. As he eventually gets off a Wish as I keep Drain Punching. I believe it's... No, he just keeps scalding me. He's fishing for the burn. But, yeah. I'm just playing with Destiny right now. As I believe now he clicks Wish because he's really low on HP. And he protects... I believe I predict him to protect this turn and just go right back into my Tangela. No, I just keep attacking. Oh yeah, I showed off the Shadow Sneak here just so I wouldn't waste PP on Drain Punch because that does come into play later. Because I've used quite a few Drain Punches so far, as now I go into my Tangela, hoping I catch him on a Scald so he can thaw me out, but he never goes for the Scald, and I attempt to unfreeze here, and I don't unfreeze, and now Tangela is just like, oh, why me? Okay, I think I go back to my Gallade this time, praying I don't get frozen with Gallade too, and I don't get frozen. And this, I'm playing so risky right now, because with the amount of RNG that has happened in this game, the second I get Scald Burn, it's over. But like, I don't get burned there still, and I'm like, okay, Gallade, you are doing a fantastic job so far. And I keep trying to go back to my Tangela, hoping to catch him on a Scald, but he wishes again there. And I can't catch a break with my Tangela. And I think I go... No, he goes into his Victini, and I stay in hoping I unfreeze, and I don't. And now his Victini's back at a lot of HP. And seeing as my Tangela just was not unfreezing, and I didn't want to switch anything back into this, I just let him kill off my Tangela, so... So now I have to go into Lando, and I do the smart thing and click Earthquake, and he chooses to sack off his Excadrill here, which was probably the best move on his part. And after that, I think Regirock comes in, and he actually had a really cool set on this Regirock, I'll give him that. After I Earthquake him here, he shows off the Weakness Policy, and I'm like, oh boy, this isn't good. And he kills me off with Ice Punch here. He told me after the battle he had Rock Polish, but seeing as my Landorus was scarred at this point, I wasn't sure that he would be able to outspeed me, even at +2. Alright, now is crunch time in the battle. I am down to only my defensive Mega Gallade, and he's got 4 Pokemon left. Okay, he switches into his Victini here. He is Rocky Helmet. I go for Drain Punch. It doesn't do a whole lot, but what it does do is it gives me a little more HP after the Rocky Helmet as well. I show off Shadow Sneak. It doesn't do a lot. I take more Rocky Helmet. And he goes for Bolt Strike, which is where I honestly think he choked this battle away. Because had he clicked V-Create right there, well, that would have been it. I would have lost right then and there at that very moment. Now, what I'm thinking he probably did here was he was predicting me to click either Drain Punch or Pain Split. And it's a prediction that didn't work out in his favor. So I'm not going to necessarily say that was a total choke, but it ended up coming into play. As he does not come in with the Bolt Strike, and part of me thinks he might have been fishing for the Paralyze here, but he doesn't get the Paralyze. And Gallade is able to avoid RNG again. And I actually go for Drain Punch here because I knew that would kill him and would give me enough HP to barely survive the Rocky Helmet. And now the comeback is on. Gallade is still alive. He's got 2 things weak to fighting still left, and he's got a Vaporeon that has a lot of HP that I can heal back. Let's see, what health was it at this point? It's not going to show me. And the comeback is on here. Gallade was not going down without a fight. He goes into Tyranitar here, just to get up the Sandstorm, and I think he doubles into his Vaporeon here as I go for Drain Punch. And I end up doing a good chunk here. Like, I'm able to heal back enough HP to survive even a couple more Sandstorm hits because it only does 7%. And he protects here, hoping to stall me down a little bit more. And I think now is where he realized he might have choked this battle away. The Sandstorm's doing a lot of damage to me. The Vaporeon's not at enough HP anymore. I kill it off with Drain Punch. He tries to double protect. I kill it with Drain Punch. And now the comeback is on. He's only got a Regirock left and a paralyzed Mega Tyranitar. Both of them are very weakened and weak to fighting. So with that, Mega Gallade is able to kill off the Regirock. And obviously no Mega Tyranitar in the universe is surviving a Drain Punch from the HP it's at. And ladies and gentlemen, the comeback was real. There was so much just absolute crap that happened in this game. And somehow, I emerged the winner of this game. 1-0. My goodness, what was this game? It had a little bit of everything in it. It had RNG out the wazoo. It had a couple of misplays, honestly, from both ends, because I didn't play my best either. It had a dramatic comeback at the end, like defensive Mega Gallade putting the team on his back and saying, alright, we're not losing today. And we didn't lose, we had enough Drain Punches at the end, and we sealed the 1-0 victory to stay in first place in the regular season. Oh my gosh, this battle was insane. Like, this was a first place versus second place battle. Like the biggest thing was his Victini not clicking V-Create on my Gallade. Like, had he clicked V-Create, he would have won there. I would have been copping that 4-0 loss. But when he clicked Bolt Strike, I saw the opportunity. I was like, wait a second, I can still win this. And lo and behold, I did still win this. Mega Gallade putting the team on his back. I'm very proud of how this team performed amidst every bit of just absolute crap that happened. The freeze on Tangela, the burn on Metagross. I don't have anything else more I can say about this game. I mean, I was extremely salty at like the middle of this game when we were doing this. And I said in the comments to him, sorry for getting salty. And he and I kind of talked over a little bit afterwards and were like, okay, yeah, this was a fun game. This was a fun game overall. It got the adrenaline boiling. And yeah, that's all I have to say about this game. And next week we are taking on the logo maker of the league, Yashu. So look forward to that, and I'll see you guys next time.